beats are the purest. Prove it, prove it.
And welcome everybody to week 6 of Aurora Esports. We're coming in here with the third match, our undefeated number 1 seed Purple Apes going against the number 6 seed Sydney Seadragons. I am War on the cast. Joined alongside me is Booney with prod and cast for us today.
Yeah, I mean, very excited for this game. We've had a bit of a, I should say, not really boring, but a bit of a expected turnout here from week 6 for all of our games so far. A lot of sweeps, a lot of affairs taking home the win, but this one should be kind of our first really close one. Like you said, the first seed and the 6th seed, but only thing separating them is about 1 or 2 match losses, and the Seadragons, of course, were top of the power rankings beginning of the year, so coming hot at the right time. They start off a bit slow, but seem to keep figuring things out.
Yeah, and Seadragons are definitely coming up hot. They just came off the back of a 3-0 victory over the Tokyo Zillas, so they're definitely going to be feeling themselves, feeling confident, feeling ready to go. They have their full team. I think both teams have the full team here today. There are some questions about whether Fire Carter would need a ringer, but looks like he's here. Looks like both teams are ready to start off on their bread and butter.
Yeah, that's definitely the biggest part of this match. So we're not going to have any ringer shenanigans. It's going to be both teams at their full power, as you said. And the thing I'm interested to look forward to is how the Purple Apes are going to be when they're actually really tested. They haven't had really a big game except for week 1, the 3-2 against the Quails, which, we've seen the Quails pick up their gameplay as well kind of recently. So I want to see the Purple Apes being kind of pushed here a little bit. They are number 1 in our power rankings. They're still undefeated, but to me, they just haven't really had like that match to really push them and see what they can really do. So I'm very excited that both teams are again at full power. I would hate to see, the Ace potentially get a first loss on the down Fire Carter, and then there's a whole different discussion out the back of that. But yeah, we're going to be going into Samoa here quickly. The interesting to point out here is that both these teams have very different styles. We've seen the Purple Apes, specialize especially just whatever Mordox wants to play, it appears. Looking very well, especially on that Juno. Looking like a really easy favorite for Rookie of the Year and potentially even MVP selection. And then the Seadragons, favoring more of that dive look with that Diva, with that Winston, with Melon in. But has been showing a bit of the Ramacha here recently. Of course, the difference is the new kind of emergence of the Orisa, which could kind of hinder that ability to play that dive look. So interesting to see what both these teams kind of come out with the new look in the meta.
Yeah, that's one of the things I really like about both these teams. Both these teams have surprised me in very different ways. I am admittedly somebody who was not very high in the Sydney Seadragons going into the season, and they've just really impressed me. Like, immediately after they made that trade, I believe it was Corey for Sky, their compositions just looked so much better. Their style looked like amazing, and you have a very flexible tank player in Melon who can really just like do it all. Then on the side of the Purple Apes, you have the 7-man roster, the flexibility where you have Capri Tommy who can switch off those tank roles, but you also have Fire who can go into tank. You have Pokemon Guy, which basically allows you to play anybody anywhere on your comp overall. I mean, this is going to be a really good match, and it's really going to test the teams to their limit. I love what you said also about how the Purple Apes haven't really been tested yet. I definitely agree with that. Looking at their schedule, they've had one of the easiest schedules, and the easiest schedule, I think, after them beating the Quails. So I'm hoping to see them still show up in style today. I personally favoring the Purple Apes a bit in this match, but I think this will still be a great matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also probably going to lean a little bit towards the Purple Apes, hoping for, a really close map 4 or potentially even a map 5 banger. It all kind of comes down to what we were seeing with the new look for the Orisa. Do we see, Melon known for those dive looks? Can he pull out the Orisa? to the level of potentially, the Purple Apes' kind of team coordination so far. And I mean, we haven't seen Juno get nerfed yet, so Mardox can of course still play that and has been putting in great performance. There are definitely some Junos in the league who want to go toe for toe with Mardox, like Real Dog, Flip Flop, but for me, Mardox has been the standout player of this team, and then keep them alive throughout these combats, those battles can be pretty tough to win against Purple Apes, and we're finally going into Samoa, and I'm ready to see how things work out.
For sure. Yeah, I had Mardox as my Rookie of the Year candidate, and like a few weeks back on the podcast, and I'm not going to try to speak it into existence, but if it does happen, I get to say I told you so. But, yeah, we'll see what these teams start out on. I feel like Samoa, I mean, we just played this map ourselves, Spoonie. Like, you can do a lot of things. This first point, I believe Volcano, is very close quarters. It feels like you walk out of the spawn doors and you're immediately on that point. So teams can go really fast. Teams can prolong the touches for a long time, and a lot of tight corners where you can fight around with these Ramatra comps.
I mean, yeah, for me, Samoa is kind of like a new Lijiang Tower. You see a lot of different styles, considering what map we're on. Volcano, very brawl-heavy, but you also have the City Center one, which is more known for that dive. So a huge variation in compositions here, almost down to which, how lucky, again, the random selection of the map type here. But walking in here, yeah, we got just a Ramatra Mirror, but big difference here is going to be Pokemon Guy on the Cassidy versus the Corey and the Reaper. Two people to look out for.
Yeah, you got to be very careful of this positioning. The high ground has been completely controlled by the side of the Purple Apes. Melon's trying to step up towards that contestation, with Pokemon Guy, Sanime, and the rest of the team doing just such a good job of zoning people out. And not to mention Firecarder on the Brig, able to do a lot of damage. They're going to stay up towards the high ground, let the Sydney Seadragons take the point, but still no trades given up so far. Just a battle of poke, a battle of opportunities. Trying to take the opportunity on Sonic Chronic as he drops dangerously low. Ari's actually going to be forced to peel downwards to try and help out. Meanwhile, Corey finds one on the back line, gets a trade. Some nice heals and damage from Silvertalus, though. You talk about the Battle of the Juno, and right now, Silvertalus putting in work.
Yeah, I mean, that entire fight was just complete chaos. Corey's ability on this Reaper to get in and use his Ray Form to escape is going really well, especially paired with Silvertalus speedering. They're able to follow up on that initial damage that Corey puts on in. Kind of just, and we said, sending me on the Venture, just had trouble really getting into this composition of the Ramatra. Swapped over onto the Sojourn here to get some more, spam damage in towards this point, a little more long-range hit scan potential, but point control still here for the Seadragons, and they have a lot of ults coming up here. It's up to Mark Orbital Ray.
Yeah, both Orbital Rays traded out on either side, but it's going to be Firecarder, who comes up in the feed first, catches two off guard, and the Purple Apes walking forward without fear, without a care. Sydney Seadragons are going to take the last few ticks of point before it all falls in the Purple Apes' favor.
And yeah, just a great overray from Mardox there. It was responded to by Silvertails, but Mardox overray actually forces the Seadragons in that small little corner, and they just fall to Firecard, just whipping around with that flail, and Capri Wolven follows up with the Annihilation. But now, 4 ults ready to go for the Seadragons for the recontest. They're going to go through the Annihilation, through Firecard's rally, but you got for Seadragons here, but Sunrock flying low, and if Senmi can get a picker early, this could be a huge flip right now for the Purple Apes.
Yeah, Sydney Seadragons are going to opt towards this high ground position, but Sanime now over onto the Sojourn, trying to play this range a bit more. Melon's trying to deny that, though. Both rallies popped out, as well as both Annihilations. Looks like Capri Rovens is just so much bigger, though, running out on the back line. Melon wasn't able to find the targets he needed, only able to trade out one in the mid-fight, and Capri Rovens' ult just matters so much more.
And yeah, 3 ults there for the Sydney Seadragons, again, 0 value. We saw Corey TP in the beginning of the fight, and that really was kind of the deciding factor. Down that Reaper, Capri Wolven sees that advantage, and Firecarder pops that rally. They're just walking on the core remaining as Corey has to wraith away to just try to survive. So in the chaos, Capri Wolven gets a huge Annihilation. Melon uses Corey Desperation Ultimate. Will swap off towards that May, a little more pressure on the Ramatra. But right now we're going into both DPS ultimates of the Purple Apes, looking pretty rough. They're going up here with Senemi with the Overclock. Sonic Rock getting a bit of zoning out here with the High Noon, but in fact, Pokemon Guy is the one to find the kill. The exchanges on the Brigades here from the High Noons. The Cowboys taking down the Engineers. And the Seadragons finding a second pick over on a Pokemon Guy. Corey forced to use a blocker over on towards the side. Senemi trying to survive as long as possible. Corey 1 HP, but Sonic Rock there with a peel with the backup. And they will keep the point and flip it over, and we'll have equal percentages here on the point. And Pokemon Guy swaps to a Soldier of all things here for our final fight.
Yeah, they're looking to get a little bit more of that range damage. Don't want to fight Corey on those close angles, but I don't know if they're going to have a choice because just there's so many tight corners, especially if you're going up towards this high ground onto the point. Orbital Rays exchanged at equal times. and trades coming both ways. It's Melon, Capriolven just facing off, trying to find the damage that they need, and right now picks have gone completely even. Sanemi manages to jump down towards point. Pokemon Guy does fall, but so does Firecard, and now Capri and Sanemi dueling it out against Melon and Sonic Chronic towards the point. Sanemi does not manage to catch his mark, actually. Sonic able to find one, and now Ari's back for the touch, but so is Madrox. It's going to be a battle of who can get ultimates first, and Melon's just been holding on to this Annihilation. Now he's going to pop it, now that the squishy targets are back, and he can run down everybody in sight. High Noon just to close it out, a wall in their face, and the Purple Apes are not able to capitalize. Sydney Seadragons are going to take the first part of Samoa.
And that first, similar to the first fight in this map, just complete chaos. What happens is Corey goes in, Hayes used to block early, and once that block comes down, the Purple Ace had to go very aggressive over onto the core. But what happens is Silvertails, with those homing rockets, able to find the kill over to Mardox, and losing Mardox has a lot of healing gone. Their Overwatch was still active, but Silvertails was able to pump the team full and allow that aggression to continue. And now looking over onto this point, no dive looks here, but now we have the kind of switch over here as Mardox goes over onto the Kiriko Firecarder, opts into the Junior here, and the first appearance of the horse for the Purple Apes, a complete comp swap coming out here from them. And I mean, for the Seadragons, if it don't broke, don't fix it. They're gonna stick with Corey on the May this time to start off. No Reaper shenanigans anymore. Sonic on the Ash, but basically same look here, way more spammy look, as Capri Wolven will try to go very aggressive on this Orisa and try to get an early pick before the fight opens.
Yeah, and the Sydney Seadragons do manage to get this high ground early, setting themselves up in a good position. Capriolven obviously wants to take this fight, but the angles are just too good, and the explosiveness is even better. The speed ring punch onto the back line from Melon, and Corey actually going to be able to catch Pokemon Guy off guard. It's this speed that's absolutely suffocating for the Purple Apes. They can't do anything if they're just getting run down.
Like I said, just getting run down, but that was actually a perfect play from the Seadragons there. They basically absorbed Capri Wolven's aggression with the Javelin spin by just kind of hiding out in the hut on the high ground. And what that does is allow Sonic Rock to just pelt the damage in the backline with the Dynamite. Then Melon follows up with the help of Corey with that wall, able to isolate the Orisa and take down Pokemon Guy early. So down that Soldier, down too much. Corey close to a Blizzard here already. Get to Capri Wolven and try to shut that down with the Javelin spin. But right now, a really aggressive hold right now from the Seadragons, holding this door with Corey's window, right, or Corey's wall up. Oh, but a huge jab from Capri Wolven, knocks Corey off the high ground, trying to come back in with Melon, trying to reclaim the space. Corey with the wall back up the high ground, but just falls off yet again. And now Melon's stuck in a really tough position here with no help. The Devil's Form beginning to run out. No picks for either side right now, but an early ultimate here from Mardox. Kazini rush in the back line. Blizzard from Corey in the back line, but falls. Losing that maze, a lot of pressure, but they do have Ari with the Brigida rally, trying to walk in towards his backline. Focuses down Senemi, and now Capri Wolven finds the Brigida kill on the back. It just trade backs and forth right now. Firecarder opts into their Over Array, but that's nowhere really near the point. They can't really fight with that, as Sonic is still alive, just pelting damage from his spawn side, falling down to very low, has to retreat. Looks like Melon will try to come in for a last second touch over on towards the points. Capri Wolven tries to take the space. But Silvertails has a much later over array and much more value here on the point as a brawl begins to break out. Melon just surviving long as possibly can here with Nemesis form on the point with the help of the orbit array. And that just might do for Purple Apes here, as they just used basically everything in that fight and got nothing out of it.
Yeah, the ult they were using, they were so reactive, in my opinion. They weren't able to capitalize on anything off of it. They will get a final fight here as Pokemon Guy scraps over onto the Reaper. Sanemi does have this Bob to contest the point, but the ult advantage still in favor of the Sydney Seadragons. It feels like the comp they have, they want to take angles, they want to take space, but they aren't able to get it when Melon's just in their backline with the Annihilation.
These beats are the purest.
And welcome back, everybody, to Aurora Esports. We just saw the Sydney Seadragons take the first map away from the Purple Apes. So, as Booney said, Purple Apes put in a bit of a precarious spot. They have to pick a map. They're deciding to go to Surafasa. I think this is a map that they've played a bit and had a decent bit of success on thus far. They decided to move Sanemi, or Firecard actually, over onto the DPS, Panini in, and then Tommy Slat in on tank. Meanwhile, the Sydney Seadragons going to make up a swap, just a 1-for-1 Tanic B for Corey. So we'll see how these swaps benefit both teams here on Surafasa, map 2.
And I can kind of confirm these are like both these teams starting rosters, right? You have kind of the Purple Apes with a stronger look right now. They got Pokemon Guy in the map 1, maybe expecting kind of a longer series, opting to save this kind of starter look for later on. And then with Corey being subbed out, I know Tank B was kind of the starter at the beginning of the year. Corey has performed slightly better in the maps he's played on. They've won a little more, but I know Tank B was kind of the main draft of this team for the Seadragons to work with. So both these teams at full strength, and the first I'm looking for here is going to be Sonic Ronic versus Firecarder. Firecarder expecting the Tank B may potentially, and now playing this flyer will put some way more pressure over onto the DPS of Sonic Ronic to clutch up. I know he did really good in the last map, so trying to follow up on this one.
Yeah, it's a very similar comp stylistically. You're really using that Juno speed ring to take engages. Melon on the ram versus Tommy Slat. Melon this time the one who's forced to contest. Speed rings are going to be exchanged on either side, but Melon's going to get more value out of his as he just capitalizes in, moving out towards the back line. Meanwhile, Sanemy's forced off this high ground off a nice dynamite from Sonic Chronic, and the tanks have just equalized completely. A great wall from Tanic, but Tommy Slat's just going to find a little corner to sneak through on that. Gets a good stabilization. Cryo block on the point. Tommy Slat sees that as an opportunity to take the contest, but Sanemi is going to be the one to find the first pick, though. A challenge up towards high ground, and Sonic Cron is going to win it, equalizes the point. Now, Firecarder looking in to try and challenge here on this off angle. Meanwhile, Tommy still fighting forward, fighting against everybody. Panini's in the fray as well, but he doesn't even want to be. An ult already out there. Both ults out. Orbital Rays exchanged in this early game fight. Murdoch and Silvertalls going brawl for brawl, blow for blow. Ari with the rally as well. A duplication of Annihilation. Should I just be calming the ult at this point in time? Tommy Slat still gets one. Another Annihilation chat. What's happening?
What's happening is the Purple Apes are winning, and what they're doing is they're forcing some really bad ultimates out from the Seadragons. And despite losing that fight, that was a great way to play it from Seadragons. He's just putting pressure on Marduk, forcing him to fly around and retreat behind the pillar. But what happens is Sedmi gets the opening pick. And then, I mean, Ari's ultimate was first before Panini didn't have it in time, but just the pressure onto Seadragons, onto Melon from the Orbital Ray from Marduk was simply too much. And now going in this fight, they have Blizzard ready to go, but Panini will have the rally for the response. Now Senemi and Marduk set up on this high ground, nigh untouchable by the Mei. So it's going to be, again, on Seadragons to, once again, carry this fight.
Oh, a well-placed Blizzard and a well-placed wall. That's going to shut down Tommy on the point. The kill is going to be there, but Sanemi still holding tall on this high ground, supported by the rally from Panini. They need to jump in here. They need to capitalize on some picks. Tanic uses the block. Could be an easy kill target, but Panini's a bit too deep in this position. He's going to fall as well, putting a severe disadvantage for the Purple Apes as Firecarder the last to fall on the point. The Sydney Seadragons are going to get a contest on this last point, but they still have a long way to go if they want to hold on.
Yeah, the one ult that didn't use was Blizzard, and like you said, very well placed. Isolates Tommy Slot on the Ramattra to take that Ramattra out of the way. It's a lot of body mass gone from the point. And then the Nano Swarm from Melon forces enemy to back up and takes a lot of space for the team just by one cooldown. So a great look from them. Now they have over to Ray. They're going to have Bob as well. Marduk's about 50% to there, so they got to take it a little bit slow here if the Purple Apes. Can't really engage too fast here. If you can build for a kind of a mid-fight Echo duplicate with the over to Ray, you have a good chance.
Wall used a bit early. That's going to buy a bit of time. Potentially turn this into a one-fight territory. The Bob is placed very well, and even through the orbital ray healing, you can't really out-heal somebody who's just shooting at your backline here. It feels like everybody just kind of fell apart in that last fight. With the rate that those kills came in, I don't know if the Purple Apes are going to have a contest, Booney.
I don't believe they do. Looks like they're probably going to give this one up and play for the next point. And like you said, just a fantastic Bob placement from Seadragons. Kind of right in that choke. You can't really escape out that way either. And you got to walk towards this point. Panini Shield can only go one way. So Seadragons, I've been saying this whole match, has kind of been the MVP so far. Has to put the pressure onto the Flyers into the backline with this damage from the Ash. And doing a great job of this so far. Now going into this fight, you're going to have a rally advantage as well for the Seadragons. So probably going to be pretty aggressive with Annihilation from Melon.
Yeah, rally used early there from Ari, forcing the Purple Apes back towards their spawn, but Annihilation is going to be stacked on top of it. The double ult combo is going to be more than enough for the entirety of the Purple Apes to just completely fall out. Sanemi gets one for his trouble, but it will not be enough to take the fight away from the Sydney Seadragons.
I absolutely love what I'm seeing from Seadragons right now. They're just punching the Purple Apes in the mouth and saying, what are you going to do about it? And right now, this Purple Apes, all they can do is just try to lay on the mat and play dead until the ref can get the count out. Early duplicate forced out here by the shot from Seadragons as well. Firecard in a really awkward position, lose that duplicate very quickly here. The fight, again, very quickly, but Tampy goes in with the Blizzard. Locks down, can't lock anybody down. They're going to get the freeze on one. They're going to exchange here 2 quick kills for either side. Marduk's trying to get in here with the Tommy Slot. With Annihilation walking on forward on a Seadragons. There's going to be Melon here on the point, but the Annihilation advantage right now for Tommy Slot. The shield dash for Melon is good, though. It does allow him to stabilize through that. Melon gets the kill run of Firecarder with a kill, and I mean, just somehow they survived all the Annihilation, the early pick. And the Seadragons once again clutch this one up, and then get Tommy Slot at the end here. Looks like they can't get healed up just in time, but now you're going to have orbital rate advantage here. It's going to be really big for his final fight on this point, and we could see ourselves at match point here very shortly here, War.
We definitely could. I really wish the Purple Apes would have gone faster in that last fight. They gave Chronic a chance to really get back into the fight, set themselves up in a great position. Now Tommy Slat has to use so many resources that Nemesis form used early in exchange for orbital rays on either side. That fight has characteristically gone in favor of the Seadragons. Sanemi still with their ultimate. The point does manage to flip, but the picks just still in favor of the Sydney Seadragons. Their brawl just too good. Tommy Slat left versus the world, and when he's facing down Melon, Silver Charles, and Ari, they cannot do enough.
I mean, what I'm seeing right now is a masterclass of May play for Tankby. That last fight, the Great Wall isolates Tommy Slat, forces a lot of cooldowns to be used to try to keep that Ramattra alive, and then body blocks Panini in a corner with his ice block, isolating that Brigida and taking those heals out of the fight. Sanemi swapping over on the May, gonna realize that's kind of been the main problem on their side. The DPS right now for the City Seadragons putting on an absolute masterclass at shutting down the Purple Apes game style. And this aggressive play can once again continue as you have 3 ults going in this last potential point. And if you can get a first flip here with just using potentially the Bob, potentially just the beat, you're going to really set yourself in a great position to not take this map. I mean, Firecarder stuck in the flank, is caught out, but the Bob on the point.
And the early pick already found by Chronic. The rest of the Sydney Seadragons are just going in again. They just punch forward. They don't have a S key. It's only W on their keyboard right now, and they're just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. It just feels like the Purple Apes, they don't have the protocols to deal with this. Sanemi makes the swap over onto the May a fight ago, but Firecarder just isn't in a place to play that brawl style with, in my opinion, and they just keep losing the brawl. So I think they just have to switch something up. They have to look for more off angles. They have to, or they just have to int in together. A big dynamite out off the duplication there. Firecarder has a chance to build up the Bob, but it's an amazing freeze by Tanikby again. The zoning just so good. Even the Bob just shut down on the point. They are going to manage to flip. The Purple Apes do get it back. Melon with a bit of a questionable ultimate there, thinking he can win that fight. But the Purple Apes do regain control.
And that's kind of the first chink right there in the armor of the Seadragons on this point. A great opening pick from Firecarter on the duplicate on the Ash. Builds that Bob very quickly, puts it right in the corner. Basically splits the entire team of the Seadragons. And they kind of panic ultimate, using the Blizzard, using the Annihilation right at the end from Melon. Gonna be pretty tough to make. Flips one back here, now walking into an Orbit Array, into Blizzard, into Annihilation. The Purple Apes have to play this ultimate fight very well here to set us up for potentially a comeback here, reverse sweep onto the latch point. A good aggressive call here from Tommy Slad, the wall from Tampy, trying to isolate over onto their mantra here, but they're going to have a lot of ults ready to go. The Annihilation and the Blizzard use as Melon is on the point by himself right now, as the entire team is zoned by the Blizzard, by their Annihilation, and now Melon flying low, stuck in the corner. They took his lunch money, War. You hate to see it. And now walking back towards this point, we will get our first point flip for the Purple Apes, but they did have to use all their ultimates to do so. I would like to see them hold on potentially one of those, but I guess desperate times do call for desperate measures there.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good fight, but I just don't think it was great. It felt like Tommy Slap very disconnected from the rest of the team on that engagement, and they forced to use, I think, one more ult than they needed. I love the use of the Blizzard. I love the use of the Annihilation to just, like, stack on top, zone the people off, the Seadragons off the point, but it just felt like it was overuse, and now it's a question of, with Bob coming online for the Seadragons, many other ults on the card, they're going to take a different fight here. Purple Apes are gonna engage forward, but the Sydney Seadragons are just engaging right on their back, and now Tommy Slatt's in the back line, but Melon's also in this weird backline position. The only difference is Melon was able to get out, he was able to get that peel, but Panini's gonna invest into this, so will Sonic Chronic with the Bob. Now Panini in a very awkward spot, has to either face the Bob or the Melon, who decides to expend the ultimate. Firecarter had the duplication online, but it gets completely shut down there, and Panini just can't hold on to his life.
And a very, very chaotic fight there. We saw Senemi get taken down very early, had to use a block in the wall on point to try to mass rotation the team was calling for, but they exchanged Maze, and then the Rams basically go into each other's backlines. But what happens is Melon has the advantage here with the Annihilation, able to regenerate that armor, regenerate that Nemesis form, and just stay alive for a bit longer than Tommy Slat. And now walking into this battle, you're going to Tampy with the Blizzard, as well as Ari with the Rally. Nothing online right now for the Purple Apes. Close to an Orbit Array, but that's it. This might just be the map here. Firecore down early!
But Tommy Slat gets the trade, and it gets the trade on the rallied Brig too. The team needs to sustain together, and Panini and Madrox are doing a great job of keeping everybody alive in the fight, but Sonic gets an amazing pick off the back. He's uncontested on this high ground, and even the wall from Sandomi can't shut the man down. Tommy now left alone on the point, still fighting for his life as Firecarter gets back, trying to reclaim this fight, and they just managed to, but this is not the battle won for them. The Blizzard comes in, Tommy Slat's life taken away from him, and now the rest of the Purple Apes forced to contest without their tank. Oh, nice boop though.
Yeah, they boop off the Ramachas. The Ramachas exchange here now. Senemi has the Blizzard over on towards the point, locked on multiple members, and looks good right now. Down Melon, down Auri. It might be tough here. Firecarter has to stay alive, 1 HP, but the torpedoes will come in from March. Panini is chasing this. Silver tells Zuno right now towards the spawn. Looks like they will get out. And just absolute chaos there on the point. But now look at the Purple Apes ultimate bank here. They built a pretty sizable one. They might be able to hold this point and set to a 0.5. It's up right now to the Seadragons to just try to survive this. Try to get the ultimates out. Potentially play for that 5th point. Because right now, the ultimate bank. Oh, but 75 Silver Tiles is a huge pick!
And they're going off this. They're not holding back. They're shutting down Melon too. They want the fight. Tanic be forced to use the wall. Melon forced to use the form just to escape back. Some nice discipline. But the issue is when you're showing that. Oh, Tanic B! Hello! Sandomi shut down now. Okay, this flips in favor of the Seadragons.
Yeah, this heavily does. Now the DPS are right down that main street as the other team comes in from the side. Orbit Array up from Mardox over on towards the point, trying to survive just as one Silver Tiles down. Panini used that rally as well to stabilize. A lot of healing out right now for the Purple Ace. We have a really awkward fight in the back line, but Sunrock comes in for the peel to keep Ori in this battle. And now here comes the Bob. And he rolls off the point. Bob's nowhere to be found. As Melon and Tommy Slat are exchanging the over on towards the point. Melon falls. Sonic finds Panini against Sonic, trying his damnedest here.
They need touch.
But they don't get the touch. Tommy Slat just huge body just blocks him off, and we're in a really awkward position now. Both teams only with 1 DPS ultimate. This could go either way right now, War. This is going crazy.
Yeah, those picks that just come up in the last moment, the final moments there. We thought the pick onto Sanemi would be enough, but he manages to get back in time, provide the stabilization that his team needs to win out that fight. And now we're traveling all the way across the map with players staggered from each other in the mid-fight to the final point of Suravasa. The point that will decide if the Sydney Seadragons will take the first ever 2-0 lead over the Purple Apes, or the Purple Apes still are showing up. And I don't think Tommy Slack can really show up here, taken completely out of the fight with that Blizzard. Sanemi had a nice attempt at a wall, but it's not enough to stabilize the team. And now the Sydney Seadragons take the first point, capture at least, and are setting themselves up good with double support ults.
Yeah, they will show up in the obituary page there for Thomas Stock. Gets frozen with that Blizzard. Really no chance of surviving that one, despite the wall from Semi trying to keep the tank alive here. It's just both DPS ults versus both support ults here right now. If they can find an opening pick onto either Aurora or Silvertel, it's definitely doable here, but huge advantage right now for Sydney Seadragons. A slow, just big him as Tank B, and Firecar used the duplicate early here, forced to use that. Now here comes the aggression.
Yeah, they need to go quick here, and a very nice wall from Tannic B to try and zone that out. Forced to block. Another wall from Sanemi is just so good,
no.
and the DPS ults are just gonna be so much in favor here. Trades are in, but Firecard are doing magic on the point there as the Purple Apes managed to get that flip.
Again, Aurora does use that rally to just try to stabilize through the pressure, but the duplicate Ramatra ultimate from Firecard are just simply too much to live through. Now, it's Overwatch are gonna be matched here. And the big advantage right now is Panini. Panini only 30% towards this rally. That could be the deciding factor here. If they can just stay alive, Firecard on this flank, potentially looking for a kill baby on Silvertels. We'll see the Echo has their sights set on right now, but it's going to be down to Morlock for Silvertels, kind of what's been this entire series so far on the Junos, which Overwatch can get more value.
And Smardock's gonna go a bit later here, with backed up by Sanemi's nice wall. They're gonna have a bit more priority, but Tannic B hits a good one as well.
Ari.
A Blizzard comes in, and both annihilations are out. Both trades happen on the Brig. The Blizzard from Tannic B doesn't seem to find really anything. The trades are going to be even. The Bob goes off the point this time again. No, it's not going to find any value. Sanemi's completely circumvented it, but Sonic Chronic does manage to get a pick. Traded back out by Sanemi though.
What?
Bob's still in the back line. Have to be careful about that as both supports on point. As Ari gets a trade there on the point. Sanemi does fall. And now it's just a contest for Panini. He's not going to be able to find it. Booney, this is coming down to the last second. Melon had to swap over onto the Doomfist. This may be a bit of an awkward composition, with Ari on Lucio and Sonic Chronic on Tracer. There will be a last fight here, though.
Yeah,
Panini has the rally, but it's going to be slow.
All guns on Panini. He has to die here. He will be the deciding factor with his rally. Could turn it heavily for his team here. A nice punch. Do they have a touch? They will have it just the last second. Remark's dead! Remarks on early could be a huge deciding factor here. Firecard as well. 2 quick kills for the Seadragons on the dive look. Melon just tries to find his last pause again. Has a punch on Tannic B with the Icicles. Finds another one. The DPS for the Seadragons are clutch this one out once again. It's a very awkward composition, but it doesn't matter. They're going to take our second map, and they're at match point right now.
I mean, the results speak for themselves, Booney. The underdog could be taking this one home. We were worried that this was going to be a little bit one-sided, you know, but I don't think we were thinking it was going to be in this direction. I don't know who was thinking it was going to be in this direction, if anybody. The Sydney Seadragons are really showing up on these maps. It felt like there's some moments where there's Purple Apes success. The Purple Apes were starting to figure out, you know, how they should be calling these fights, how they should be using the ultimates. But at the end of the day, the Sydney Seadragons take it home, and now they have Purple Apes on the back foot on their match point, and they have to make a big decision about what map they want to take us to next.
With that being so, find out what that map is after a short little break. Do not go anywhere. This slobber knocker of top teams in the league continues after a short little break.
These beats are the purest. Prove it, prove it.
And welcome back, everybody, to Aurora Esports Week 6. Currently, the Seadragons have put the Purple Apes in a very precarious position. They've been down before, but they've never been down 2-0 on match point. And I was looking back in the history books, Booney, and I was wondering, what was the last time that the Purple Apes ever chose a map? You know, like, when was the last time they had to, like, actually think, like, oh, we haven't been rolling? What are we going to choose? It was actually in Week 3. They chose Suravasa, and they immediately won 3-0 on that map. Then, you look a bit farther back to the last time they chose a map. It was Week 1. Was the only time they have chosen a map other than Suravasa. Every single one of their other maps have been 3-0 complete sweeps, complete dominations. So, makes you wonder, what's happening in the Purple Apes comm? Is this just an off day, or are the Sydney Seadragons maybe the true heroes of the league, shutting down the #1 seed potentially? We will have to see if the Purple Apes can pull off this reverse sweep. Similar comms from both sides. Corey in for Satanic B here, and the Purple Apes looking to try to pull off a reverse sweep in Aurora Esports.
And now we're going on the point of clash here, the Throne of Anubis, and what this is just pure aggression from both these teams. But we've seen so far this match, the Seadragons have just had their number when they play these sort of brawl styles. I'm interested to see the Purple Apes might go somewhere else potentially, but here comes the aggression right now from Purple Apes, going in very heavily here. Both Mays are going to exchange over on towards the May, but Melon is going to have to call for a pause, and yeah, we sadly are not using the competitive rule set.
Oh my gosh. That's why Melon exploded so fast.
I was about to say, Melon doesn't have a lot of health here.
Yeah, I was wondering what was happening there.
It's definitely
I
interesting.
blame Panini. That's all I gotta say.
Oh dang, we're actually gonna blame Silver Towels according to Tanny B. So.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Okay, we're now blaming Silver Towels.
And we blame Panini, we blame Sortels, but actually Thomas was the host. So. But just when you look at like both these teams, pretty much a mirror comp. The difference can be Senemi versus Sonic Ronic on the Cassidy and the Tracer. I don't know if they're gonna stick to this after potentially a reset. But just
the Tracer is definitely, I feel like, very awkward into this because Corey just hits a lucky headshot. The Tracer basically almost dies. Sonic Chronic gets a nice nade. Tracer was basically dead, you know? And then you have Aurora to market. It feels like it's a different approach that allows them to go maybe a bit faster onto these fights and take multiple angles, which is good, but I don't necessarily know if it's like the approach that I would go for into this comp. I feel like you just need to int harder if you're the Purple Apes.
I mean, we've seen the Purple Apes, if the fight really breaks kind of down into chaos and it's core of like a mechanic battle, then they do usually take those fights with Fire Carter on the DPS, but the Tracer does kind of lead into that, can put a little more pressure potentially on the Silvertails, and Ari just kind of be annoying. And maybe if they go like all in, the Tracer can jump on supports and try to catch him with the cooldowns down. But yeah, like I said, like you said, I don't really know if I agree with it. Honestly, it kind of play out for a few fights first before I really judge it. But the initial kind of thought from me is they're playing more or less to fight this backline. They see that Ari and Silvertails are using those support cooldowns to just engage and just be super hyper aggressive. But if the Tracer can get in there and put some pressure, potentially it's going to change, but we'll have to see if we figure out the comp rules first here. But once again, really no other changes from the Purple Apes, which is interesting because we've seen the Seadragons just kind of take this match in the mirror and really have no sweat so far. And if the Tracer don't adaptation, might need to cook a little more here. Maybe they purposely use the wrong settings here, War. You just, oh, you're running that comp? I guess we'll make some adjustments, I suppose. And then we'll see how you guys are playing that. I don't think it's going to happen, but...
yes.
They're sticking with
the classic, learn the enemy comp with wrong settings, then counter swap them. Grrr,
oh, it's an Aurora classic, you know. It's been used for years. I believe, the Pumping Pelicans probably used it for the championship.
Yeah.
It's sort of like
the St. Michael Hawks were definitely doing it at some point in time.
It's sort of like the roided out, baseball era.
Yep.
The wrong settings meta was definitely the problem going forward, and they're sticking with the Tracer here. So let's see how it works out.
Yeah, it's nice because you have the Mei on both sides. You're looking for those big walls, but Melon will just have like so much more support with the Cassidy compared to Sanemi on that Tracer. It's kind of just a battle of can Tommy get the stabilization, get the support that he needs. So far, it's a nice wall out from Fire Carter here to create the space for his team, but the wall from Corey is just a bit later and a bit better. They're able to stabilize through it, win the fight, and everything falls in the favor of the Seadragons.
I see what the idea is after watching one fight with the Tracer is. It is just trying to split attention. Just kind of taking his off angle, shooting Sonic Rock, trying to get Sonic out of the fight, or Ari, but the armor is just simply too much as well. The Juno healing just basically survives all that Tracer little pellet damage, and Senemi can't really do too much, so I don't really want to see it stick around too much longer if they can't find a pick or opening fight victory. Very aggressive here in the brawl. Mark's finding the forced retreat. Senemi just poking Prime from the outside. But there's isolate over on a Tommy Slat. The wall from Corey not quite going to land. Point right now in favor of the Purple Apes. They just kind of stand there trying to stabilize by the high ground and complete control of the Seadragons. As Sonic Rock continues to pelt down this damage with the Peacemaker. Bit of a blink around from Senemi trying to put some pressure over on this high ground, but a headshot from Sonic will force him to retreat for now. Fire Carter has the Blizzard here ready to go, throws it right over on towards Melon, locks down that Ramantra. The hinder is there from Sonic, but just walks right into the Blizzard, over to right out from Silvertail as well, trying to stabilize the point. Core throws down the Blizzard, trying to think it was winnable here. They also had the rally close, but did die. Corey's 1 HP. Panini just smacking this ice cube, trying to find something. And yeah, they used a lot of ultimates. A point will flip here for Purple Apes, and Semi has the Pulse Bomb. And that's kind of where you want the Trace to go in. Just go on the high ground, force Sonic Rock to be in aqua position. They isolate Melon. So a good fight from the Purple Apes right now, 1-1. But going right back in this main control, point in complete favor of Seadragons. They have all the position in the world.
Yeah, and ults exchange completely evenly on either side. So we'll have a DPS support and tank ult on both sides. Only difference is a Pulse Bomb versus a High Noon. We'll see if Sanemi looks to really catch Sonic Chronic in action with those ultimates. But right now, last fight on this point was really determined by Corey's wall versus Firecarders, and Corey's wall does come out a bit earlier. Tommy tried to go in. The wall on the high noon, though, completely zones it out. Melon's forced to use the Annihilation to keep down the pressure on the point, but Panini has the early pick already, favoring the Purple Apes. And Firecarder does manage to clean up Melon, so with the picks in favor of the Apes, seems like the Seadragons are left with nothing else to do but retreat, give up a bit of the advantage to the Apes.
A huge wall from Firecarder stops that high enough for any value. The pulse doesn't find anything from Sanemi, but does cause a bit of commotion, bit of a disruption in the back. But the fact you're able to hold on to Talent Sets Annihilation for this next point is critical for the Purple Apes, because sees them gain a huge advantage here. They've also Corey on the side too. If Corey dies here, this is disaster. Corey has Blizzard though in the side room, potentially a play, but Seadragons falls first.
And Corey manages to drop that Blizzard down, but Tommy Slats may have already done too much damage onto that back line, gets 2 for his trouble, and now Firecarder's gonna drop the solo Blizzard right onto Melon, get that kill on him. Meanwhile, the Orbital Ray on the point, the Purple Apes want to push this aggression because they know if they cap this point, they have a big advantage going into the last 2 points they need to cap. They'll have it pushed like all the way back. Ari's forced to swap over on to the Lucio.
I
they
don't
think
like
it's still
that at
winnable.
all.
The Tracer, it comes in too. It's messy. It's scrappy. Panini drops low, but it might be enough. Sonic finds 2. Sanemi trying to catch his mark here, but not able to find it, and finally is on the fight. But Tommy's now being frozen up onto the point. Firecarder stuck on this high ground, and currently Silvercharles is looking for him on that angle. They're going to decide to back off, decide to give up a bit of percent, but I don't think the Purple Apes want to give up this fight completely right now. Panini and Firecarder are ready to drop down to take this fight. Firecarder's actually been caught out, but he manages to zone out the fight for the rest of his teammates and even trade 1-for-1, hopefully giving Tommy enough time to get back in time. Cardi's still alive though, has that block still, and the wall used a bit early to try to zone off the point, but there's somebody touching anyways, so it didn't really matter. And now Tommy versus Melon on the point. Mardox is back, trying to fight it, and I think it's gonna go in favor of the Sydney Seadragons. A couple final touches for them, and they will take it, evening up this scoreline.
Like I said, I didn't really lose the swap at first, but did get a point and did allow them to really keep contesting that. But right now, going forward, a huge advantage for Panini in the support play here with the Vegeta versus that Lucio. I mean, Ari close to a beat, but the neutral game from Panini is going to be much better here, going especially with the swap onto the Orisa. Corey does get a nice Blizzard out, though, but they can find Corey right away and dies. Panini rallies in a Blizzard, never the best idea.
Wait, the response Blizzard is just equally as good, though. Forces Melon to use that Annihilation on such low HP. It felt like that timing was just so scrappy, so off there. And the cleanup's just there for the Purple Apes. They're taking these fights cleanly, but that time there's a lot of ults used on, I guess, either side, but specifically Purple Apes side.
I thought for sure the Annihilation could signify a swap for Melon, but actually sticking with this now going forward. And we kind of saw there, if Corey just jumps on in and, you know, dies early, it's really tough to play this out much longer. They're all things high position right now, ready for the Panini falling pretty low here, and Sonic follows that up.
Sonic with a nice little engagement onto the point, but Melon's weak though, needs to be sustained on this point, and an Orbital Ray is enough to do it as long as they fight within it, and looks like that is exactly what they're doing, burning down Tommy. Firecarder explodes on the point, and Mardox, despite hitting very nice missiles at the end there to gain himself a bit of ult charge, is not going to be able to win the fight 4v1.
Yeah, and now looking at it, the fact you're able to hold on to Ari's beat is critical for the Sydney Seadragons to take a slight advantage of this map. It's currently 3-3 right back to the middle. I love Clash. But Sanemi, if they can land a Pulse Bomb, could be a deciding factor, but this beat will be the game changer from Ari if they can just stay alive for long. They force Corey's block really early here, though, in the fight. So that could be a cooldown to watch.
Yeah, Sonic's building a pulse of his own too, looking for a bit of this right side off angle, while Sanemi's trying to marking off the left side. It's all about when they take this fight and how can the support come in, but the Sydney Seadragons are actually going to decide to take this fight with double ultimates. The beat and the pulse come out, but Firecarder's going to try to win this fight, going to try to exchange back onto Melon, but Corey's ult expended as well. Same with the Orbital Ray from Mardox, and Tommy ult's now going in favor of the Purple Apes, but the trades, are they there yet? Yes, they are. Sonic does fall on the point. Silvertall still in this off angle, looking to fight Mardox, meet his match, but Is he going to be able to find it now, surrounded by the rest of the Purple Apes and completely shut down?
And there you go, Ari spots right back over on the Brigade after the beat comes on through. We saw Senmi put some pressure on that. Lucio forced out a beat pretty early. And like you said, Firecarter clutched that out there with the Blizzard, gets a nice clutch little play with the help of Marduk's Orbit Array. And now going in once again, you have 1 point advantage right now for the Purple Apes. They just had to win one more fight here. Silvertails will have Orbit Array for the engage. So no ults for the Purple Apes. If they can just prolong this fight out, gain some of their ults for the next point, they probably themselves up to take this map of Clash. But if Sunrock can just find one early pick or Corbett doing the Icicle, they might flip it right back on their head and take the series. It's so back and forth right now. Panini just trying to build his rally as close as fast as he possibly can. But there you go, early pick for Sonic Ronic. It's a huge start.
A huge start, and now the ults that may have been forced out in this fight that the Purple Apes, they want this to be a long fight. They want ults to get forced out. There's the Orbital Ray forced, at least. And Melon finds a trade. Tommy's able to get one on the point, but I don't think that's going to be enough as he tries to engage back on Corey. Corey's not going to have any of that, just completely walls him off, doesn't want to take the challenge. And now the Purple Apes just trying to gain whatever they can. Firecarter is going to fall down on that point, but this final fight is going to decide it all here. Multiple ults on the card, a bit of an advantage, like currently, for the Sydney Seadragons, but if the Purple Apes can make this fight go long, they can easily take it home.
Yeah, I mean, you say that, but they also have advantage for it's like a Pulse Bomb, which we've seen Pulse Bombs not get too much value here in this game so far. Sonic could maybe eat my words, but you have a Blizzard to match Corey's. Panini will have the rally, and Mardox has a huge advantage on for Orbit Array. So the support elements here for the Purple Apes might just bring this map home for him. Speed ring out early here, no real follow through from that one. So Panini goes right back in with the rally. Triforce fight back. They use the Blizzard to Corey and dies mid-cast. The Ajax on the Javelin, that might just have won the map here. A huge play from Thomas on the Orisa. And now Melon trying to clutch out here with Annihilation, but the Blizzard and Firecarter will shut that ultimate right down Speed Ring as well. Well, just melting down the Ramatra through the ultimate. And now Thomas walks into the backline, has the Terror Surge for the slam on down. Kobe and Shaq style with Senemi in the back to follow up that damage. And Sonic Ronic with a Desperation touch Corey on the Sombra as well. Not real long for this world. And a 5-4 Clash scoreline. But the Purple Apes are not done just yet.
That may have been the closest flashpoint, or Clash point, I should say, I've ever seen. 5-4 is insanely close. It felt like it was really just decided by the push and pull. The ability for the Purple Apes to really build up the ults in that second to last fight and then win it over in the final ones. Very glad to see this series at least going to be going a bit longer in distance, Booney.
Yeah, like you said, love seeing some fight from the Purple Apes, and a great look from both teams here. Now we're going to have some swaps probably as well coming into our next map, but what that next map will be, we do not know yet. Do not go anywhere. Overwatch Clash will continue after a short little break.
And welcome back, everybody, to Aurora Esports. We currently have the Purple Apes getting their first map win of the day against the Sydney Seadragons, who have showed up very highly today. But I won't lie, that was a very, very close map. The last two maps have been extraordinarily close, so we'll have to see if this map is going to be more of the same or a bit different, because the Purple Apes, they have to put in Pokemon Guy, they have to put in Capri-Rolven on this map, and if I'm being realistic, it did not look like they had the best first map with those two in.
Yeah, it
They
did look.
them in, right?
It did look a bit shaky on that map 1 of Samoa, like you were saying, but a bit of a different look potentially coming out here. Next up is going to be Shambali Monastery, which me and you were discussing in the break war is an interesting pick by the Seadragons, because there's still maps like Nimbani in the map pool. There's still, I believe, Dorado's still out there. I'll go ahead and check match times real quick. Yeah, Dorado's still out there. Junkertown, Rusi to 6, where you can play that more dive look, which we've seen the Seadragons do really well with Melon. And they're kind of, again, opting in this Ramatra duel, which has worked well for them the first two maps. But map 3, we saw the Purple Waves kind of taking that favor back for their team. But
I've realized they do not need to play Pokemon Guy and Capri-Rolven because they're a 7-man team. And the playtime is different for those teams if all 7 people are there.
You know what? We might have found the loophole.
Yes, I think we found the loophole. So I think we're going to see this comp for the rest of today, Mr. Booney.
Makes this pick of Shambali even more interesting, you know, from my point of view. Or it doesn't really make sense because there's no other point really in Escort, like a Route 6 of Dorado, Junkertown. You know, we see some teams maybe pick a map type they're not very comfortable with to try to block it off, to try to kind of save their map. But right now, there's no advantage for them in this map aside from something that we could see like on a Route 6 or a Junkertown with that more dive, more sniper look. But, I mean, yeah, we're going to Shambali Monastery, and we saw with this new look with Panini in their mantras very close in Servasa. It was last fight territory, and now same thing on Clash. It's last fight territory. So both these teams, I guess, just want to keep against heart attacks, want to bring it to as close as possible. You know, me and you were also discussing, we want ourselves a close game at the beginning of the series, and hopefully this continues. And honestly, I'm praying for a Map 5. I have no horse in this race, but I just want some good damn Overwatch, man.
I have a horse in this race because I filled out the Season 6 Preds.
More than
I voted for the Purple Apes. And because I made the pred that the Purple Apes would go undefeated this season, so...
Oh yeah, write that down. Instantly,
yeah,
instantly disproven 2 days later.
That'd be really funny if it was. I won't lie. But now that we've got a bit of the code difficulties sorted out, I believe we are going to be going in to Shambali. And like you said, it's a very, I guess, awkward pick. I feel like, I don't know, compositionally, the Sydney Seadragons, they want to run dive, they want to run brawl, and this gives a very easy poke option for the side of the Purple Apes, which I do not know if the Sydney Seadragons are really comfortable fighting against. But we'll have to see as Tanikby does pull out the Hanzo here.
Yeah, that's just going to be a Sonic or auto spawn to scout the enemy comp. That's not actually probably going to be a run if I had to take a guess. What's interesting, though, I want to point out is the Orisa coming back out here for Tommy Slat. And I don't know how I feel about that, especially on Shambali A. Just with that high ground, the Ramatra shield's almost like perfectly sized to block off that little chokeway, and your team can just sit behind it and shoot. So potentially the Purple Apes going for a much more aggressive strategy here and opting not to play for that spam look with the shield of the Ramatra, but instead going heavily into the enemy spawn with the Orisa and the Sonic Arrow just not quite gonna land. So no scouting for Tanikby, but goes right back over to that signature May here. And yeah, it's just gonna be a complete mirror match except for the tanks. So interesting to see which tank look is going to be the new meta here going forward after this map. This is the map that Overwatch League pros are watching, by the way, War. So this will decide what the meta is. I'm calling it for real.
Yes. As an Overwatch pro in the chat, learn from Tommy Slat, learn from Melon. These are the ideal Overwatch players, and these are the
is
two.
Taking notes on Tanikby's May right now.
Yup. Dude, if I'm Gooseway right now, I am looking at Melon. I'm thinking, Ram? Potentially. As this fight breaks out here, Tommy's going to be the one finding the first kill. So maybe Gooseway taking inspiration from Tommy, but already taking a kill back onto Firecarter, and the point progress has sort of already gone in favor of the Sydney Seadragons. A nice little disciplined retreat there for the Purple Apes. They want to guarantee themselves a for sure locked down 2 fights on this map. And I think they're going to get it. If they're able to get this contest on this little cheeky corner here, they should be setting themselves up in a good spot.
And yeah, this is the advantage of the recent comp right here. Playing this choke and playing very aggressively. The walls are going to be exchanged from both Mays, but the walls much better from Tanopy. Forcing the retreat, speed rings. Exchanges Firecarder again, goes down first. So losing that May, very bad here for Purple Apes as the Seadragons have found their target here on the Firecarder May. Mardox already has over to Ray, however, should they decide to recontest with that. Nice javelin going to land over onto Auri's shield. Blizzard out from Tanopy, locks down Panini. Over to Ray is down choke, but nobody's there to follow it up. As they're all stuck, as Seadragons taking heads and taking names as full of side room in the server. Downloading the Purple Apes in those little computers, and now Firecar swaps over on the Echo, but still can't survive the Brick Bash from Auri. And now very blazing first A selection there, and that's the difference of the Orisa and the Rancha on this point. I like the matchup way more.
Yeah, the Rancha's also able to shield off all that long-range damage too, while Tommy just has to absorb it with gold. And granted, those cooldowns do come up very quickly, but it feels like Melon can really swing angles. He can really step with the team a lot more cohesively than what the Purple Apes are doing right now. I want to see the Purple Apes just up this tempo a bit more, go a bit faster in this fight. Both tank ults on either side already built up, so we'll have to see if Tommy Slat's going to go in with his.
Yeah, just jabs on. He just does a spin to push Melon back for a little bit. Nice jab is going to land. They're over to Ray out from Silver Towers, though. We'll open that choke right up for them, but just a bit of a kite right now from the Purple Apes. Heavy down first. Good start for them.
Yeah, and Tommy Slat trying to push his way through. Panini agrees. He wants to end the fight as well, but a actually really well-placed Bob that forces Panini to use a lot of utility to zone that one back, but a nice little combo, boop and wall to deny this Bob spacing, burn out all of the value, and now it feels like Firecarder's taken a very nice angle on this corner, now back over onto the May, but it looks like he's just trying to get it to run down. Tommy, though, with the spin to counter that out, and Ari drops dangerously low, eventually taken out by Firecarder on the point. Now Tommy just face-checking Melon, seeing what damage he can build up, seeing if he can get supported. Both walls are out. It looks like the one from Firecarder this time is a little bit better at helping the Purple Apes hold on to this point.
And great ult use coming out from the side of the Purple Apes there. Just investing in that rally to open up that battle and using the Terror Surge for a bit of an extra fortify health there from Tommy Slat. And now it's just going to be the Annihilation from Melon in the early fight. If the Purple Apes recognize this and go very aggressive and take a huge fight advantage with Firecar, the Blizzard's a good start.
Oh, that Blizzard's going to be able to catch Melon, but a return Blizzard from Tanic and hits the exact same spot. But Tommy Slat manages to avoid that pretty well. And the Purple Apes have just completely absorbed that, sent Melon straight into the backline and straight to his doom at the mercy of Mardox there. And the Purple Apes are really finding their rhythm. The ult use is looking good here, and the speed at which they're taking these fights is really just second to none.
Yeah, they're starting to recognize their advantage here in this competition with the Orisa versus their Mantra. Just go aggressive, just press your W key, force out his cooldowns early, force out his Nemesis farm before the fight really begins to break out, just allow Mardox and Senemi to just pelt in that pressure. And now, bit of a new rotation coming out from the Seadragons going up on this side. They had Mel's Annihilation, they had the rally, they had the over to Ray, so Mardox will probably match that one. It's up to Panini. If Panini can survive and outlive the rally from Ari and just re-engage with his own, huge advantage for the Purple Apes, but looking very aggressive right now with Firecar's eyesight on point.
Yeah, Firecarder in such a rough spot, and it looks like there's no member of the Purple Apes that is going to be able to bail them out, but a Bob is going to come in to help fight towards the point. However, you have Ari who does pop the ultimate, and they burn down that Bob extraordinarily fast, but the Orbital Ray is there on either side to try and fight through this. Melon invests the Annihilation as well, and that boosted damage is just going to be a little bit too much for Tommy Slat to handle. But he does manage to get a bit of time off, just camping back on the point, maybe being a little bit of a thorn in the Sydney Seadragons side, but not necessarily doing the most to get this recontest.
I do not know what Firecarder is doing there on point by himself. I don't know if he was calling for help or something, but the team just doesn't come in for the aid of the May. The second out of the ice block just dies, and down that utility of the May wall. Really nothing stopping their engage with the Over to Ray. I like the counter of the Over to Ray from Melon, using that Annihilation, just walking straight into the beam, showing no fear, and shutting that ultimate down, and now looking at a very awkward look engage here over on the sides. Melon going aggressive. Gets to get it stopped here with the rally, with the stun. Sunrock's Bob is pelting instant damage over on Talon stuff, but he does have the Fortify. Just staying alive so well here. And about the big slam in from Tommy Slat. Not getting any
Tommy
kills,
Slat
but
below.
They are surviving the Maywall off from Tempe. Tempe has a Blizzard should they need it, but they might hold on to it here. Panini falling low as well. Nemesis form engage in from Melon. They try to use it to try and bring it back, but Firecard taken down in the middle of the blizzard, and the shield up from Ari keeps their mantra in this battle, and the Purple Apes are collapsing from our very eyes, Panini. It's not looking good right now. It's going to be 0.3 all captured here. Tampy with a celebration blizzard, the snow cone, and the ice creams. For a job well done, as Purple Apes are in a tough position here with over about 2 minutes in time bank from the Seadragons. That's a great time bank for Shambhala Monastery.
Yeah, it felt like the Purple Apes really only had it in on that second point, but seemed to just all fall apart on that third point. The staggers were just too bad, and it felt like after that Firecarder death on, I guess, the second part of this map, it felt like they just never really got a clean team fight where they were using their ults cohesively with a certain goal to like kill a certain player or to take a certain amount of space. So I really want to see a lot more of that. It's possible that they go on to attack, and because they're attacking, because they have that objective in front of them, and they have that space they can take, they can do a lot better at that. But we'll have to, I guess, wait and see if that will actually happen, or if this is the end for the reverse sweep dreams of the Purple Apes and their undefeated record.
I still don't get this Orisa. I mean, I don't. It seemed like the Purple Apes haven't really scrimmed this comp very much, and they're just seeing like, oh, the pros are playing Orisa in scrims. I'm gonna play Orisa now. But when you see the Ramatra look from them, it looked a lot closer against the Seadragons. But instead, sticking with this Orisa, I don't like their pace of play when they play this because, again, Firecard's by himself and dying on cart while your team is running away in the spawn, and then by the time that Melon's already in your team with the Nemesis form, there's really no answer. And I don't really get the idea of the Orisa. They're sticking with it here, trying to get something done, but again, a very substantial time bank right now for the Seadragons, a huge advantage for them as the venture from Senemi. Okay, going back to spawn to change. And Sojourn. Interesting.
Yeah, I think the Sojourn can work here, especially being able to build a bit off of the Melon shield. But right now, Melon just holding onto this high ground with the rest of the Seadragons as Tommy Slat does push the cart. Now that they've got the cart up into an area, they're going to go for this 5-man hit, but an amazing wall again from Tanic B, just zoning out Tommy and Firecarder on the point. And Fire just blows up, just completely obliterated in this fight, and May just completely freezes out Tommy. Melon gets the punch down to explode them out, so a good start of the fight, just the execution just isn't there. It just feels like Tanic B is just getting the upper hand with these walls every single time they throw their bodies in.
And again, it's just Tanic B, better balls. That's kind of what we're seeing on this map, especially. Firecarder is dying out first a lot on the May, which is not a good look, especially with how survivable she can possibly be with the block. But going in for another aggressive hit here, but Tanic B ready for the wall. They're trying to force out with Speed Ring. If they all go through the same time, they're going to get that, but there's wasting the Speed Ring because of the nanoswarm from Melon. So the cooldown exchange for City of Seadragons almost looking perfect right now on the defense to begin.
Yeah, but I kind of like that discipline. They realized they were getting caught by the wall, and instead they're just going to try to circumvent that, go around it, and now they're forcing it into the Sydney Seadragons' hands. The Sydney Seadragons have to fight this down. They have to fight into Panini, into Tommy Slat, into the Orbital Ray, and they're going to be able to catch not just one, two. Tommy Slat only getting one for the trade, for the fight back. The point's been pushed by Firecarder. It's gone a decently long way, but the kill feed, it's all red. It's all in favor of the Sydney Seadragons.
Kill feed's all red, though Mardox had their Orbital Ray just slightly before Silver Sal's there. Just, again, control that high ground as the entire team is doing the little rotate with the cart. They just walk into the remaining members, and we have Tommy Slat trying to take some aggressive positioning and getting punished out by Melon. And yeah, Tanic back there with the Blizzard. They do not know he's there. This might just be another fight clincher, and getting the last fight territory here for Purple Apes is looking pretty rough.
On a lot of cooldowns, really expended there. The gold, the block, and a Blizzard comes back in, but Firecarder's traded out first. Okay, Melon gets exchanged though, and now with Ari in the fight, in the fray, actually not being able to be traded out, gets bailed out by the Bob from Sonic, just hitting at the exact right time. And now the green light, the aggression from the Sydney Seadragons. They're feeling confident. They're realizing that they can take this home right here and right now.
And yeah, now we're last fight territory here. They had Annihilation to fight this cart, and Panini's really had to do something with this rally here. Senmi will have some problems finding a good angle for this overclock unless they get over onto a flank because just the kiting potential of this corner. And he possibly do Sunrock on that backline as well with a huge burn. Overclock up from Senmi down to his choke line, trying to find something. Here's Melon stuck in the corner. Mardox falls to pummel punches. losing out on that Juno, losing out on the potential for mid-fight over to Ray. Just devastating here. Melon retaliates with the Annihilation, and now Firecar's isolated on this little side. And it's looking devastating right now. They got nothing in the bank, nothing over the clock. They used Rally as well in the Chaos. And they still have the Orbital Ray coming out from Silver Tiles. This might just be it, or it might just be following the Cinderella story of the Purple Apes. The Seadragons showing why they're number one on precinct power rankings once again.
Yeah, maybe number one team on preseason power rankings gonna be able to bring it home. A final contest from the Purple Apes, their final chance to really stand out here, show why they've been undefeated throughout the season. They do force out block early, and Mardox get to pick. This could be exactly what they need here. They're looking to zone out this main, they get exactly that. Now, they have to be disciplined in these final moments. They cannot step off the cart. And it looks like the Seadragons are just going to give it to them. They realize they've burned a lot of the time bank, and they want to get multiple fights on this second half. Actually, no, a contest downwards. A nice little orbital ray to try and send it in here. I don't know if they're going to be able to get it, but Sonic Chronic and Tannic B are back on this point, and now we have a 5 versus 5 fight, but Sandomy's the first one to get a pick. Tannic drops the Blizzard, but Tommy's in there with the Orisa spin, and that's going to be more than enough to send them onto the second part of this map. Booney, what do you think about that contest?
Not good.
Not
I
good.
liked the idea of Melon doing another con by himself to try he forced an Orbital Ray, and they also get the. I mean, getting Orbital Ray is a really good fight victory, but then you invest your Blizzard, you invest your own Orbital Ray, and now you're looking at the ultimates here. Firecard will have the Blizzard, huge advantage over Tannic B. Rallies would basically be equal here once the fight really breaks out in this little choke area. Sammy with the overclock coming up here. The Purple Apes might just brought themselves right back in this bite with a bit of an overinvestment from the Seadragons on that final contest. I would like them to kind of just stay up on the high ground and just wait their turn.
And the Purple Apes had a really good plan to push the payload up here. They had one on while they took multiple angles, forcing the Sydney Seadragons to use cooldowns to get forward, and now they just take the 5-man fight down main. Tommy Slack does get walled, but they're running out of cooldowns. They're trying to trade out here. The Blizzard does come in, as well as the Bob from Sonic Chronic to try and fight back into it. And the City Seadragons are going to turn this fight right around. Sandomy does try and slide in and gets Sonic Chronic for his troubles, but not going to be able to catch much more.
Yeah, I mean, two wrongs don't really make a right there for the Purple Apes. They have to pop the rally because Thomas that goes aggressive, really has no backup. They have the rally to try to keep the Orisa alive, but Orisa still falls in the chaos, and Firecard tosses off that Blizzard and freezes nobody. The Bob's good zoning tool from Sonic Rock now going into an Orbital Ray against Silver Tiles, a Blizzard from Tampy, Annihilation from Melon. So we're back kind of where we were at the end of A, as the Purple Apes are really on the back foot here with only the overclock from Sandomy to really do anything. Mardoxing match the Orbital Ray, but it's up to Sandomy for a pick. That's a good start.
And this is the fight they need to win, and Tommy Slack comes up big in this fight. It's all off the back of Sandomy's flank with that OC, putting down so much pressure onto the support line, and now Tannic and Melon left stranded on an island, nowhere to run, shut down by the Purple Apes, and they keep holding on Chimbali.
It's not the end of the world, though. You didn't use any ultimates there, so you were able to hold on to these, and you force out the Orbital Ray, force out the overclock. So now only the Orisa, only the Terror Surge Ray to go from Thomas out, walking into Blizzard, walking into Annihilation, walking into Orbital Ray. You should be able to win. Basically, one fight's all you need here for the Seadragons to take this match home. I wouldn't be surprised to see them kind of dry fight this, try to force out that ultimate from Tommy Slat for one last second to engage here. Samurai does fall low to get healed right up here. I don't want to see Seadragons using Elvis. But I want them to take this fight pretty early here. They're kind of staying here doing nothing.
Yeah, and they're still not contesting this point. If Tommy Slash just backs up here, gets the stabilization, which he kind of does, a counter wall does come in from Tannic, and it does manage to catch him out. But at this point in time, I mean, Purple Apes have time to take 2 more fights here. Well, the point has sort of pushed itself into a last fight territory. It is going to sort of slide back here a bit, but it's already out of this brutal chokehold. The only place where Tannic B can hit these big walls, we'll have to see exactly if the Purple Apes can attack with the tempo they need.
Yeah, they go in here. The nice javelin from Time and Stuff's gonna lever on 10 before it's on the block early, so that May cannot use the Blizzard here. Panini does fall pretty low, but around the corner now some time. Melon taking a headshot, but we'll get healed right back up here. Still has Nemesis form, still has Annihilation with the Blizzard out from Firecard, a much earlier Blizzard, and now they're gonna freeze up multiple members here. Melon just trying to survive as long as possible. Has Annihilation once it gets unfrozen, but the bigger Blizzard from Tannic B laying down multiple members as 2 from Purple Apes are gonna fall. The Rod from Auri trying to make this last fight territory. It looks like if they can get these kills, looks like it will be just that. As Firecar stuck in the slow, the speed ring out from Mardox trying to keep him alive. They have over to Ray and spawn, but they're chasing him into the spawn room, finding Mardox in a huge
Mardox
pick.
falls.
No over to Ray. And now Annihilation for the spawn hold. This might just be it here. This might be the Purple Apes finally falling. We've called it twice already, but it's looking much, much more dire than the other two.
Yeah, this time they have the world against them. Sanemi can build up that overclock, but has to slide in, forced to face the music, forced to face the wall.
He didn't get the
and
touch!
they're not even gonna touch. It's over. The Sydney Seadragons take down the #1 seed, the undisputed best team so far of the Purple Apes. And wow, Buffoonie, we expected this match to be something completely different than it was.
But it's definitely good to see this. We have some parity in the league. There is no... That's our... Is that our last undefeated team to fall here?
No, Roosters.
Yeah, the Roosters still
holding
around. So
strong.
are the Roosters going to be above 7th power rankings in the following weeks? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, the Seadragons coming out here and proving that nobody's untouchable in a very close series, honestly. You know, it's a 3-1 scoreline, but aside from map 1, really no one-side affairs for either team.
Yeah, both teams definitely looking good throughout both maps. I don't want everybody to start singing Purple Apes is over party yet. I don't think that that is justified in any way. But, I mean, good match on either side. We should shift the conversation towards the map MVP for the Sydney Seadragons.
A lot of great people you could shout out there, but, I mean, I have someone in mind. I kind of want to give shout outs to basically everybody on the Seadragons right now. They played as a whole concise unit that all the engages they seem to call were just almost perfectly timed. All 5 members walking as a single file line, the little mama duck and her ducklings. So, again, I do want to see who's calling those engages, but honestly, my MVP is probably going to be Melon. Melon taking it to both Tommy Slat, and Capri Wolf in the first map on that tank, showing that, not really just a dive one trick, as they might have been talking about beginning of the game, showing their Ramatra prowess on that tank, showing the flexibility as well onto the Doomfist for, the contest on Saravasa, able to clutch it out with the whole help of the team. And, a lot of people were kind of off-rolling and switching in back and forth, Corey and Tankby. But, Melons, Ari, and excuse me, Silver Talus being kind of the steadfast competitors. I go to sports a lot, so I'm actually going to shout out to Tank for once. But I'm open to arguments for really anybody on the Seadragons right now.
Honestly, I had a reason that I wanted to hear from like every single one of the Seadragons. Ideally, I could just ask like who's their IGL, because I feel like their calling was like the best in their calling was like second to none in those matches. But I would love to hear from Melon, the tank player, definitely somebody who contributes to the comms and a very active member of our community. Won 2 awards last season, so I'd love to hear from Melon.
Yeah, we'll bring them in for a quick interview here. Get their thoughts on the win. Hello, Melon. Congratulations on the win. Big upset for people in the community taking down the undefeated Purple Apes. And honestly, just initial thoughts off that a 3-1 win and really no sweat, it appears, off your guys' backs.
I don't know. At least for a few of my teammates, they're really stoked to win that, because some of my teammates were saying, "Yeah, this team's fraud. We win surely." So it definitely feels good to win, I would say.
Yeah, and you definitely looked dominant in the matchup today. Talk to me a little bit about, I guess, your experience as a tank throughout facing off against Tommy Slat, Capri, Wolverine. Were you just looking to just like run them down on that Ramatra? And if so, like who was really calling the shots about like when you go in?
I'll go second question first. It's usually either me or Ari who's the one calling to go in. But I think the best way to describe the fighting against Orisa as a Ram is you kind of just have to poke, hope the Orisa makes a mistake, waller, and when she uses Fortify, you just kind of run them down because they're all just going to panic and spam cooldowns on her. And then you can go in and punch.
Punch.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the biggest question that we have. We've seen kind of the emergence of the Orisa in the meta here recently in the last couple of matches, especially in Aurora. Do you really have a feeling of how this Orisa could potentially work? Are you guys be trying to work that into your comms here later in the game, or are we just sticking with this Ramatra? That your dive look, of course, is spectacular, but just kind of what your initial thoughts on the emergence of the horse here, as the devs keep micro buffing her every patch for some reason, as she's finally kind of back in the sights.
I don't know. I think Orisa's boring to play. She's just kind of
Preach.
click cooldowns. There's not really much thought into it. You just click cooldown, shoot tank, and I don't know. I think if you're at a high level, I think that's kind of the main thing about like metas. Metas really only work at like really high levels, like tier 1 or tier 2, maybe even tier 3. But at like, I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but like at these levels, people can't usually like abuse the power of
I will
these
have
heroes as
0
much.
tier 13 disrespect here. We are the next. We are the next wave of Overwatch esports.
Yeah, did you hear that Proper is actually watching this map and
Yeah,
taking
he's
notes?
taking notes on
Yeah.
Tanic B's main
Holy
performance.
shit.
Watch the VOD back.
Real proper.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But no, we're not gonna play Orisa. I don't think we're gonna ever try that.
Hey, I love that answer. Sticking to your guns. A lot of respect to that. Question for you about that map 3 that you did lose. Obviously, a very close map there. Did you have any concerns about the reverse sweep at that time? And what was the choice on Shimbali as the next map for you guys? Like, what was the mentality behind that?
Well, in terms of Temple of Anubis, or is it Throne of Anubis?
Thorn of
Whatever.
I don't
Anubis.
know.
Please respect.
Oh, sorry.
Put some respect
I
on
missed the old
Flash's
one.
name.
I don't know. Yeah, I think that map was just kind of a fluke. I threw, I think, at least like when I was like saying PP to change because the health pools were wrong. I was kind of just like laughing the first 2 fights. I'm like, oh no, I should probably lock in, and I don't know. It kind of just lost us it. And also, Firecutter was spamming so easily, and he just got mailed. Like I think he got like 6 mails on me in that whole Clash game. Is so annoying. But we picked Shambali just because it works really well into our mat and to our comps and what we play. Like Sonic is allowed to play the Ashe, and I mean, I'm not saying anything, but Tanic kind of gapped Firecarder last map, but that's just me.
Sheesh. No comment, but maybe true.
No comment from the casters. We will simply acknowledge you said it. Congratulations by saying that. It is pretty late here, so we'll send you out with, of course, El Clasico. If you cannot be MVP of your match tonight, who would you give it to on your team and why?
I think Ari. Ari just has really good shot calling, and just he can ult track, and they can ult track, and I'm really bad at it, and I don't know about anybody else, but I really appreciate when somebody like them ult tracks. And also they just played a really good game.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
you could honestly just give it to anybody on your team tonight. I think everybody was playing out of their minds, like you said. You guys, it's the classic sports metaphor. You just wanted more tonight. You guys came out on the floor. Coach had a great game plan, and we'll look at the tape and see next week the old classic sports sayings.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, we'll send you on back to your team to celebrate. Congrats on the huge upset, and we'll speak to you again here soon, Melon.
All right, thank you. You guys have a
Bye,
good night.
Melon. I miss
What?
you.
And yeah, with that being said, we were kind of talking this whole time, just huge upset there as the Seadragons take down the Purple Apes, and now only one undefeated team remains here in the season, where it's gonna be the Roosters, as they are topically called with the W at the front, as they are now the only team who cannot spell their team name without an L. So yeah, interesting to see going forward how Power is gonna adjust and how kind of we might perceive these two teams we thought played tonight going forward.
For sure, and I think this will only boost in my opinion, the Sydney Seadragons stonks. I mean, there's a lot of questions about them. They were 3-2. They've had a lot of close matches on their wins and their losses, but taking down the Purple Apes in the most dominant fashion that you probably could possibly take them down in, they were so close on that map 3. Almost got the 3-0 sweep. I think that is what's really going to stand out on these next power rankings whenever they come out. I don't know when.
Yeah, the biggest thing I want to check here as well is the Purple Apes' upcoming schedule. They face the Slouchers, into the Froggers, and then into the Roosters. So kind of a gauntlet here for our currently ranked #1 team, and it could prove, it could kind of show that this match was not the norm, and potentially could show that maybe they were a bit fraudulent in the beginning. I'm not going to say that they're still a great team. They played fantastic tonight, but it's going to be very interesting to see those matches now way more up in the air in my mind than they were about an hour ago.
Yeah, but the other side of the coin is Roosters obviously undefeated, but I think I said this on the podcast. They've gone up on average against the 11 seed, like on average in the 5 games they've played. So they got the Slouchers, they got the Bobcats, they got the Seadragons,
yeah.
and then they got the Purple
Apes.
Apes. Yeah, so I mean, we could see a showdown in Week 9, Purple Apes Roosters, and we'll also see the Sydney Seadragons versus Roosters in Week 8. See if they can maybe, at that point in time, the Roosters are still undefeated. Maybe they can take that title away from them again.
And yeah, I mean, like you kind of said that we're still learning a lot about these teams. We're just over halfway through the season, and yet it feels like most matches are still coin flips at this point. You know, who shows up for that day, who's favorable in the meta, who wins the matchups individually. So still very exciting going forward here. Nobody is by far running away with this league whatsoever. We've had some pretty big upsets this week actually with, you know, I'm trying to think, not this week specifically, but the Frog has lost here recently. The Roosters still staying together, but a lot of definitely interesting things happening here. So if you want to stay tuned for more Aurora action, see how the season will all play out, make sure you follow the Twitch channel here. Make sure to join our Discord, link of course on the Twitch channel below. Unless everything else say war, we'll send ourselves out.
Yeah, well, you want to do the honors for us?
Of course, I got to put on a t-shirt sometime. But with that being said, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. Have a great rest of your game, everybody.